Coming in with another check-in with our favorite realtor, Ivan Figueroa. So, Ivan, just got your real estate license not too long ago. How long have you been, or tell everybody, introduce yourself and how long you've been in the business?
So my name is Ivan Figueroa. I've been in business for about 6 months now. I've been having a great experience so far. I love real estate. It's always been something I wanted to get into. I finally did, and I'm glad. I did, and I'm glad I'm here at Park Place doing
Nice.
it.
Let me ask you. So, I know you said you always wanted to get into it, but why? Can you share with everybody why did you want to get into real estate?
So I've always been working around real estate. So I always did construction, and I always had kind of a hand in real estate. So we would always either work inside the home or outside, even build them from scratch. So it's always something that's kind of been in the back of my mind.
So, like those times where you're doing like construction, right, labor, and design, right, because you do a little bit of both. You thought to yourself, you're like, man, there's other avenues
Yeah,
that
exactly.
are involved in this, and you definitely explored it. What was the schooling process like with you, applying to the real estate school? How did you choose the school, and how long did it take you?
So I just looked it up online, and
Just good old Google.
yeah, exactly. I just looked up how to get a license, and I had a website show up, and I ended up just signing up and just doing the schooling through there. Once I got that finished, I went to go do my real estate
The
exam.
state exam.
Yeah, exactly. And then after passing that's when I ended up coming here and,
Okay.
and starting.
So let me ask you, like, from what you learned in the real estate school, right, to actually learning the process, the
Yeah,
contracts, how big of a culture shock was it?
extremely. Nothing is similar.
Okay.
The test doesn't really prepare you for anything. I know they ask you silly questions like how many square feet in a acre, I believe.
Well, yeah, I mean, we still
Yeah,
use
stuff
that.
like
Yeah,
that.
it's over
So I'm
43,000.
like, what?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
but
deal, but I mean, when it comes to like the townships, right? That's something that we don't really
yeah,
deal with here too
exactly.
much in the valley. Let me ask you this, man. I mean, what has been one of your biggest like aha moments now that you're licensed, been 6 months in the industry, you've already helped a few families buy and
Yes.
sell, you've also canceled a few escrows. Explain why did those escrows cancel? Why did you cancel out of those contracts? What did you discover that was like, okay, this is not what they show on TV?
Yeah. So the reason one of them that I remember that we canceled was due to inspections.
Yeah.
So we did inspections. We, you know, did multiple inspections actually just to make sure that the house was all in the condition we were wanting.
Yeah.
And the inspections didn't come back too well. And ultimately, it was going to be, let's say, too much work
Yeah. And when
to
you say
make the
too
deal
much, we're not
close.
talking about like paint and carpet.
No.
We're talking about like reconstruct the damn roof.
Yes,
But from the
exactly.
outside coming in, when you wrote the offer, it looked pretty.
Exactly.
Photos showed well.
Uh-huh.
So would you always encourage any home buyer, no matter what their agent says, to always do your inspections?
Definitely.
You're like, you learned. That was your aha. Like, okay, I understand why we do inspections at this level that we do them with. But so far, what's been one of your most like rewarding experiences, I would say, that you've experienced thus far in this business?
So I love just working with, most of my buyers have been first-time home buyers.
Okay.
So I love helping them out and having them reach that goal. I know lots of people think that's not something possible,
Yeah.
but it really is. People are doing it every single day.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad that I could be of assistance and help them, from the first day that they just start asking me questions to the day that I'm handing them over keys and they're, new homeowners.
And you don't want to notice too, but following your journey on social media, you share the story,
Yes.
right? You let people know that they could identify, and most importantly, almost like they could see themselves as that person. They could almost relate to them to say, "Hey, I could do that," right?
Correct.
I love how you share that story. Now, what would be one of the biggest things you would retell yourself now that you're in the business? What piece of advice would you give yourself if you could start back 6 months ago or even a year ago? Would you tell yourself, hey, you need to do this sooner?
Yeah,
What advice would you give
definitely.
yourself?
Yeah, I would definitely start it as soon as possible. Like I mentioned, the test really didn't help me out all that much. It's really getting out into the field and actually getting deals done.
Yeah.
Where it's all a learning experience. Every deal is a little bit different. You always learn something from the last one.
Yeah.
So that's really my biggest takeaway. So I try to get as many deals done as possible. That way I learned a little bit from each one, and I could help my clients out the best
Now,
possible.
I remember when we first met and we interviewed. Did you interview anywhere else before you came here? Just
No,
curious. No.
no, just
Oh,
here.
that's crazy. Okay, so we must have made that great of an impression.
Yes.
But I would tell you, you actually went through our boot camp, right? We did a
Correct.
2-week boot camp. Actually, it was 1 week boot camp, and then we had the online training. How would I say is how I don't want to use the word beneficial, but how impactful has our online university been in helping you complete the task of the contracts and the addendums?
Extremely helpful.
Do you think you could have survived without them?
No, definitely not. Every time I write a contract, I always go on there and double check that I'm doing everything correctly. So
Yeah,
I don't
because
know
you
where I
just
would be
checked your
without it.
listing that you had, and you dialed that thing in pretty damn well.
Exactly.
I mean, it was funny because when I was going through, you're like, "Yeah, I already watched the video.
Yeah.
I already know exactly how to do it." It was perfect. It was perfect. Kudos to you on that. But yeah, so that university we haven't shared it to anybody outside the walls of our brokerage. And the reason why we put that thing together is because there's a lot of common questions constantly asked that tend to be, no matter who the person is or their background or their knowledge level, these are common questions that they have in the real estate industry about how to service their clients with respect to contracts and addendums and disclosures. And I just said, hey, one day I'm just going to teach.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach them how to do it and make it available for them to do on their own time. You know, in the middle of the night, if they're writing an offer, they will always have that resource there. So that's kind of how we put that thing together. What would I say so far being in the business? What have you noticed as far as like the possibilities? What is your brain, the entrepreneurial side of you, thinking as you're working these transactions, as you're helping more families? Have you decided like, hey, listen, I could actually really, really build a business in this business? Has that thought came to you to service more people, or?
Yes.
I mean,
So that's what I love about real estate, that you are your own boss and you get to do things the way you like. So you get to do trial and error and see, hey, this worked, this didn't work.
test, right?
Yes.
We had a meeting about that, right? So you test,
Yes.
you develop, test, and most importantly, determine whether or not it works. So you're doing the test methodology.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that, because a lot of people just throw stuff out there and they don't test,
Yeah, no.
and they don't know the results. What would be one of the biggest, I would say, so far that you've been in the industry? What would be one of the biggest like aha moments you've also had outside of the inspections? Like, what else have you like seen about the business in general?
So every transaction is different. I've
Yeah, no,
worked with really great realtors and I've worked with, not so great.
some interesting ones.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's always, a little bit different, but, ultimately we're working together and we're wanting to make the deal close. So,
Yeah. So the cooperation. Now,
Exactly.
ha was your, hey, I realize there's cooperation that has to happen
Yes,
no matter what.
exactly.
And that not every real estate agent is the same.
Yeah.
You hear that, clients? Not everyone is the same. What might look good on Instagram
Uh-huh.
is not good in real life.
True.
We've witnessed that the hard way, the last cancellation.
Yes.
And it's not always the goal to cancel, but typically what causes cancellations is sloppy work as far as repairs, or overpricing a home, hiding repairs, or an appraisal that doesn't come in at value because the home was overly priced, right? Because sometimes consumers, even though we advise them, hey, listen, when we write offers, we just don't use our emotions. We're using logic. We're using comparables. We're trying to identify what the home is worth, so we could write that offer for their pay for what other buyers are paid for homes like this. But sometimes you have that buyer that doesn't care. They don't want to hear logic. They want to hear emotion. And when they get that appraisal back, that's exactly what they see. So that's part of it. But yeah, cool, good stuff, man. What else was I going to share with you? What else? What are some of the things you're working on right now in your business? Like, what are some of the things that you feel that is helping you in your career and shape it?
So right now I'm currently working on just streamlining everything, making sure that I'm getting all the correct information to all of my buyers and being consistent.
Okay. So, like, a fun fact about you. So, if people don't know, Ivan is a master barbecuer. I mean, the guy makes his own freaking seasoning and barbecue sauces. He's like literally a master barbecue. When are you going to bring some barbecue to the office? That's the question we all have for you.
Okay.
Everybody in the back right now that's watching this, they're asking when you're going to bring some barbecue, man. We're just putting you on the spot. You got to commit.
All right.
When
I'll
you gonna
bring
bring
it
it
soon.
What do we have? We have a ribs, brisket.
Ribs for sure. I'll probably bring maybe some brisket or tri-tip.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and some
Okay.
sides.
We might have to do a little battle off one of these days. And then Oaxaca. You like to travel to Oaxaca. Tell me
Yes.
about that. We were just having a conversation off camera. Like, that place is getting a lot of attention. There's a lot of beauty out there
Yes,
in the
there is.
countryside, a lot of beautiful beaches, but a lot of development happening out there. Do you eventually see yourself investing and buying property out there?
Yeah, funny thing is, we actually found some land over there that we
Okay.
were thinking of purchasing. That way we could build our own home because
Yeah.
we do travel out there constantly,
Yeah.
well, yearly, and
So
it's just
annually, every
beautiful.
year you guys
Yeah,
go.
annually. So it's just a beautiful place, and the culture just, I don't know, it's
Everybody
not
I know
comparable.
that's been there is almost came back enchanted. And everybody says the same thing: the people,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
community, the naturalness of it.
Yes.
Dr. Sabi, if people don't know, Dr. Sabi spends a lot of time out there, with the herbs and analyzing
Yes.
different foods that they put together and their healing properties. So it's definitely awesome that you go. And then not only do you do that, but you also have another business. I mean, Ivan all around is the go-to guy. So we just shared with me how you built. You're building. I would say, would it be safe to say that you're a carpenter? I
Yeah,
mean, because
basically.
that was I've seen some things you just built on your phone. That was pretty cool.
Yes.
So you have a little bit of a construction background, so it's easy for you to, when you walk into a home of a client, to say, okay, we can fix that, we can change this,
Exactly.
we could offer that. As far as like ideas and things to
Yeah.
repair, that's pretty cool. Look forward to checking in with you in your next 6 month journey, and just want to welcome you to the business, and let's keep on doing great things, man. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you.
Cool.